Yo, Steve Bynes, you won the giveaway from last week. Comic fam, we got some hot comics to talk about. Holy Peter Parker, comic fam. So many Spidey comics to talk about. A lot of record breakers. Hit the subscribe, slap the like button. Stay tuned to the end. We got a giveaway on deck. And Gem Mint, start them off at number 10.
Tom, my spider sense is tingling with Amazing Spider-Man issue 1 making the list, the second appearance of Spider-Man, the first in title, the first appearance of the Chameleon, of Kraven's half-brother, and J. Jonah Jameson. We got a 1.0, which sold for $7,500 back in April, up 18%, now selling for $8,869.
The first meeting of the first Marvel family, Fantastic Four, and our web slinger, a 5.0 back in May, could have been secured for $20,400. And we have two sales, one for $24,000 and then a much larger $25,500. That's an increase of 25%.
And then we had a CGC 9.4 hit the market. Now, we haven't had a sale since 2017 when it sold for $150,000. It's up 61%, now selling for $241,200.
There's something known as the CGC Registry, where collectors are incented to input what comic books they own. And there was a prestigious run that came to the market this week. Some of the most highest graded comics from the ASM run and AF15 all hit the market at one time, causing a ruckus in Spidey sales. That, combined with this blue chip market that we're in and a movie fast approaching, has created a major buzz for Peter Parker. Next at the list, at number 9, another Spider-Man book.
That's right, we're talking Amazing Spider-Man issue 11, the second appearance of Dr. Octopus. Now, I always like to look at those registry collections like modern day pedigree collections, post-CGC pedigree, if you will. We all know why Dr. Octopus is making this list. His first appearance in issue 3 is gaining more and more exposure due to Alfred Molina reprising his role in Spider-Man 3, No Way Home. So what happens when that first appearance starts getting a little out of reach? People start clamoring for the next best thing, which really, this book is not that much more affordable. We're going to take a look at these record-breaking sales. We're talking a CGC 6.5. It sold for $1,140 back in August. It's up 37%, now selling for $1,560.
The 7.0 could have been secured back in June for $1,447. That's up 7%, now selling for $1,550. There are only 7 9.6 copies graded currently on the census, with 0 graded at 9.8, making this next 9.6 sale make some sense. Back in 2011, last selling for $20,750 to be outdone with an increase of 102%, coming to the market after a decade with a new record landing at $42,000. Comic fam, keep track of all of these rapidly moving comic books, the sales, the census count, the record breakers, and download Key Collector Comics, the best comic app in existence. Support what we do. Utilize code TOM101 to unlock a free 2-week service of the full app. And next on the list, we're talking the first appearance of Tony Stark. We're talking Tales of Suspense, issue number 39.
That's right, this is the first appearance of Iron Man's Model 1 armor and his first enemy, which is Wong Chu, the Viet Cong warlord. We got a CGC 3.5, which sold for $10,500 back in July. It's up 24%, now selling for $13K. Then we got the 6.5. This sold for $23,000 back in June, and it's up 25%, selling for $28,800.
Now we have the monster sale, the 9.2. Keep in mind, there's only been 7 copies graded at 9.0 and above that have come to market in the last 5 years. The record for a 9.2 was set back in 2011 for $72,100. But in 2017, we saw a decrease in price for this grade, selling at $65,000. Well, it's not 2017 anymore. The blue chip effect is in full gear with a new all-time record set this week, 100% up from the 2011 record, now selling for $144,000.
That's big money for the billionaire playboy philanthropist. Moving on to number 7 on the list, we're going back to Spidey. We're going Amazing Spider-Man 41, the first appearance of the Rhino.
The fan theory has been for quite some time that we were going to see the Rhino reprise his role in Spider-Man No Way Home. And with records being the way they've been for single and double-digit key Spider-Man appearances, especially from the Villain Rogues Gallery, we're looking at some major record breakers, especially when you see what the 9.8 went for. Buckle up. We got a big one. A 4.5 back in May could have been secured for $535. That's up, sustaining 8% increase, now selling for $575.
The 9.6 has been making major moves as well. We had a record-breaking sale in July of 2020 of $12,000. It's up now 65%, selling for $19,800, almost $20K. Then we got a 9.8. Back in 2012, one came to market and sold for $12,750, just $750 more than that 9.6. It's up now 371%, selling for $60,000.
We told you, comic fam. We warned you about these crazy record breakers. The CGC Registry run is coming in with the heat this week. There are 17 Amazing Spider-Man books that made our runners up list. Stay tuned for that video. We also have, at number 6, Mutant Madness continuing. We have X-Men 64, the first appearance of Sunfire, making our list again and again. This was number 9 on our list last week, Jem.
Yeah, he's an underutilized mutant, has a unique personality, and could be a great asset to movies or shows or anything that Disney wants to do with him. We're looking at a CGC 6.5, which sold for $290 back in March. It's up 37%, now selling for $396.
The 7.0 could have been secured for $320, and that's up 29% this week, selling for $412. The 9.0, this one really puts it in perspective how much this comic has been continually invested in week over week, why it's making our list over and over again. Back in September 2020, selling for $425, up 93%, selling for $819.
That's amazing. Just like number 5 on the list, we got Amazing Spider-Man once again, issue 5, the first meeting of Spider-Man and Dr. Doom.
Number 2 on the list last week. Could it be because of Dr. Doom? Single-digit Spidey? Ditko goodness? Well, we had some price correction imminent, and it is now landed. 1.8's going for $558 back in April, up 16%, now selling for $650. The 4.0 going for $1,700 just last week. Blew past the 2K marker, up 20%, now selling for $2,040.
Then we have the CGC 8.5. It sold for $6,495 back in May. It's up 16%, now selling for $7,555. And then we got the 9.6. We're talking 4 record breakers for you guys today. This book sold for $23,500 back in 2018, and it's up 43%, now selling for $33,600.
The first battle between Spidey and Dr. Doom. We know that this has to take place on the screen. What other villains do you want to see go up against our legacy heroes? And at the list at number 4, we're going to keep the Spidey train moving. 6 ways with Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 1, the first appearance of the Sinister Six.
And speaking of which villains do we want to see our heroes face, this is chock full of villains. It's the first appearance of the Sinister Six, third appearance of most of these villains, and it looks like we're going to see most of, if not all, in the Spider-Man 3 No Way Home movie. Anyway, we got a CGC 9.2 to report on. This book sold for $3,800 back in 2013. It's up 532%, now selling for $24,000.
This is the 3rd week in a row that this comic book has made our list. It was ranked 4 last week and 7 the week before that, and I suspect it's going to keep making its way on here, especially with this new 9.6 record leader, going for $15,200 back in 2009. Get ready. Brace yourself, comic fam. We're talking an increase of 413%. Yes, a new $78,000 sale this week.
And moving on to number 3 on the list, we have yet another Spider-Man villain. Amazing Spider-Man issue 20, the first appearance of the Scorpion.
Matt Gargan, slated, featured in Legos. Looks like we're going to be seeing him suit up in a Scorpion type of armor. But regardless, we told you about double-digit Spidey. We told you about the villains. We told you about Sinister Six. Well, let's tell them about some record breakers. The 6.0 could have been secured back in April for $1,425, up 9% this week, selling for $1,550. There was a 6.0 that also sold for $1,500 this week, sustaining the increases, proving itself on our list.
And speaking of increases, an 8.0, which sold for $3,200 back in June, is up 116% with this all-new record-breaking sale of $6,900.
And then we have a 9.8. Hasn't been seen in the market since 2013, going for $18,200 then. And this week, an increase of 164%, landing at $48,000. Comic fam, these comics have never been so hot.
Now, Spidey definitely killing it on this list. Let's slow it down a little bit. Let's go to a non-Spider-Man book. Number 2 on the list, we're talking about Sgt Fury, issue 1, the first appearance of Sgt Nick Fury.
We know Fury is confirmed to lead a role alongside Talos in the upcoming Secret Invasion narrative that's going to hit Disney+. That was announced back in 2020 in December. We have the first team appearance of the Halloween Commandos, the first appearance of Sgt. Nick Fury, and 3 record breakers to report on. 1 very high grade.
Let's start with the 5.5. This book sold for $3,000 back in April. It's up 25%, now selling for $3,747. Then the 7.5, which sold for $3,600 back in September, up 101%, selling for $7,223.
Then we have an 8.5. Haven't seen one of these in this grade in a decade. We're talking a 2011 high price of $7,170 to be outdone with a 335% increase this week, selling for an all-new high of $31,200. Comic Fam, link in the description. Hit ComicTom101.com to join the mystery mail call. Secure your trial of Magneto, Raph, Grassetti, Wolverine variant. We have Virgins going out at random. Support what we do. Give me an excuse to send you comics every month. You got until midnight tonight to join the community.
That's right, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. We're here for you every week. And with all the Spider-Man keys making the list, you know that number 1 had to be the granddaddy of them all. The highest selling comic book of all time. Amazing Fantasy 15, the first appearance of Spider-Man, Uncle Ben, Aunt May, Flash Thompson. Now, usually this list is reserved for 3 record-breaking sales in 3 different grades, but this time we had to make an exception.
The 9.6 last came to market back in 2011, selling and setting a all-time record price of $1,100,000. We have this week a historical moment that has taken place, Comic Fam, an increase of 227%, the highest selling collectible in comic history coming to market, setting the standard and stage for all other blue chip keys to be outdone, I suspect, with a new all-time record of $3,600,000 this week. Hot damn, Comic Fam.
$3.6 million. That's such a crazy sale, higher than the Action 1 Comics record, making Spider-Man the highest selling comic of all time. We actually have a list of all these crazy sales that we've been reporting for the last year or so that we're going to do on my channel, which should drop tomorrow if we're timing this correctly. So make sure to come by, subscribe to my channel, and check that video out as well.
You know, you can follow Gem over at Gem and Collectibles. The link is in the description. Comment, like, let me know what you think about this list. It'll enter you to win a Lucio Barrio Eternals #1 Cersei variant. Comic Fam, as always,
geek responsibly and stay minty fresh.
Enough said. Comic Fam, we got 2 other videos for you to check out. Peep the podcast. We like to talk about expensive paper for quite a long time. And we also have the runners up video with the single sale record breakers, the books that didn't quite make our list today that you gotta know about. Take a look. We made them for you. Have a great weekend.